Investing, statistically, women are not as confident investing, yet they outperform men as investors.
Hey, Liz Faircloth, welcome to the Cash Flow Digest. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is Liz, my wife, and her second time appearance in the Cash Flow Digest. Liz, great to see you. And it's like I have the white background studio, you've got the black background studio, so we have a nice little
I
contrast
know
going on here.
we got some contrast here.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk to you today because we have a interesting subject. That's something that I know is of course near and dear to you, and it's become very near and dear to me watching your journey in building this thing. And that is the phenomenon that is the real estate InvestHer. Let's start here. Why is there an InvestHer? Why do we need an InvestHer? Why isn't there an InvestHim? Why should InvestHer even exist?
Yeah, I can give the reason why we started it 6 years ago. And I also share a little bit about what's happening right now and where there's important note. Here's the bottom line. I think we're given this, I don't know what you want to call it. Like we're handed this theory that knowledge equals action. And I believe that that's not true because we all know what to do. We all know how to lose weight, but yet people struggle with that still, right? For a lot of different reasons. So the knowing is not going to create the action. It's actually the community. So what we believe is that knowledge plus community, a safe community, equals the action that you'll take. So what we found with InvestHer, and the reason why Andressa and I started it, was to create a community of women who you have this safe space that women can ask the questions, get the support they need in a fairly male-dominated industry, if you will, when it comes to investing. We went to, and you know the conference I'm talking about, Matt, but we go to conferences, we go to meetups. I'd feel like I'm the only woman there. Yep. I get along very well with men. I work with men, no problem with men, absolutely. But there is something very special of creating a space for women so they get and give the support that they need and live life on their own terms based on the challenges and issues that they're working through. We believe it's a woman's birthright to become financially free. So we've created a community with knowledge, right? Content to really create the ability for women to take the action they need to take control of their finances and build wealth for themselves.
You've educated me, and yes, all very noble, right? But from a man's perspective, men look at this and say, well, can't women just figure it out? Can't they just read Rich Dad, Poor Dad like I did and go off and start the real estate investing journey and all that? Why do they need a community? Because there's an implication there that the playing field's not even, or that women need different things, or there's a different rule book, so to speak, for a woman entrepreneur. And I know that's true because you've told me that. And I've just seen it in firsthand witness, right? What are some of the things that are different, right? That women need a different level of growing up in entrepreneurship than what a man would need. It's just in real estate investing in our industry, I guess just tapping further into what are the things that the real estate investor and communities like it can deliver to women that just going to your local RIA right down the street wouldn't be able to do for you.
Yeah, I have a few things, Matt. If you said, okay, why is this even necessary, right?
That's what I'm really getting at.
Women, quite honestly, women couldn't open a bank account in 1974, which was not that long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can keep going. Women don't actually make the same amount of money as men. Then you go to CEO roles. You go to very different areas, the stock market. Investing, statistically, women are not as confident investing, yet they outperform men as investors. So traditionally, there has been a lot of gender inequalities. No one can dispute that. There was a point women couldn't vote. We can keep going, right? We can keep going on this long list of gender inequalities. But that's important to state because what we're creating is gender equality on the financial side.
Yeah.
And when women have choice in finances, they can make choices in their lives. Mm-hmm. So that's the why behind it. Investing, when people say, think of somebody investing, they'll still think of a white man. I'm sorry, that is still a traditional, they'll think of Wall Street, they'll think of a white man.
Yeah.
So what we're creating is a different landscape to say, the women are under the radar. They're investing. They're doing this. All types of women, all ages, all ethnicities, all types of women. All women who look differently from each other are doing this. We're creating a spotlight so other women can say, wow, those women are doing it. I can too. The story that goes back to Oprah Winfrey. Here you have a young woman, African-American, growing up with a lot of challenges. I'm not going to go over her history. She wants to better herself. She wants like a big life for herself. And she sees Barbara Walters, interviewing other people on TV. That's a big deal in that time. And Oprah Winfrey was a child at that time, saw another woman interviewing and said, I want to be like that too. And that's the same thing we're creating. That's why we have our InvestHer Con, where it is just women speaking. I know you're doing a workshop, but women, so it's really about seeing yourself and other people with the same challenges that women deal with.
Yeah.
And I can keep going on with that laundry list. Men have their own challenges.
They do. Yeah, and we sure do, but that's a different story, right? And I want to unpack something, expand on something that you said about women statistically. This isn't just Liz saying this, being more effective, better performing investors than men are.
Yes.
We don't need to unpack that any further. Just to, hey, men, understand that. And that's probably because women are probably better at due diligence and all those other kinds of things. And they're better at vetting. And they don't look at this whole thing as gambling like a lot of men do on investments and things like that. So all that aside, there is a changing tide. There are advantages that are flowing more and more towards women in the investing communities, such as their ability to make better investing decisions just intrinsically because of a lot of reasons, right? Help us unpack that, right? The changing tide that's happening for why men and women need to pay more attention to the woman investor, whether you're a male vendor that's there wants to serve a women community or you're a woman yourself trying to rise in the women investing space. What are some of the things that are changing that are going to completely, I think, from what you've taught me, flip upside down and create a lot of upheaval and a lot of phenomenal opportunity for women coming into investing or that are thriving in investing already? What's changing?
So a few stats for you, right? Number one, in a traditional relationship, which not everyone is, but let's just go with, going to give you a traditional statistic that would impact that. Women outlive men. So the chances of women, I'm sorry, Matt, me outliving you is higher. It just is. It's a statistic, right? So that your money will need to last longer, right? The need for money, the need for creating stability in your life, not just stability, but abundance. No one would disagree that that's a need, right? For our futures, especially for the 40 to 50-year-old demographic, right? That's what we're thinking about. That's what we're mindful of. That's number one. Number two, in the next 3 to 5 years, well, we'll also say currently women control $10 trillion of the US economy, right? That's going to 30 trillion in the next 3 to 5 years. So what that means is there is a wealth transfer happening. That can mean that for a lot of different reasons, inheritance, people are dying, women are controlling more and more wealth of their family, of their unit, their family unit, if you will. You see more men maybe taking care of different things on the home front. Women are growing businesses. It's still a variety of types of families, and to each his own. But you see more than ever, there's more single women owning property, buying property than single men. These are facts, right? I'm giving you facts and statistics. I'm not making these things up. So there's a lot of reasons that, again, if there's a wealth transfer happening and a money transfer happening, and women are going to be sitting on more and more wealth, the question is, are they confident in making decisions and not just handing it over to some other person who's going to make the decisions for them? That's what I love about real estate investing. That's what I love. And women are smart. They're very good at vetting people and situations. They just, I think the key piece is that community that they can bounce off of other people doing it in a safe way. The other element to all this, Matt, is that when women are doing things in groups, that really creates an economic opportunity for all types of companies, right? Because women are going to be investing more. Women are making more of the financial decisions. They're your customer. We're not a niche. We're no longer a niche per se. We are going to be the customer. So whether you're marketing to women or you are a woman or you have young children, it's not like this random group of people, right? It could affect everyone. And if you really tap into that, and what do women care about, right? We don't care about the Ferraris. The number one reason women invest in real estate is because they want to create generational wealth. They want to be able to create a legacy. That is the number one reason.
Yeah.
So knowing these things, I think, it will increase revenue and customer base for all types of companies, even if you're not a woman yourself.
Just to underscore, you can't say this enough, $20 trillion are flowing to women in the next 10 years, right? It's going from 10 to 30, you said, or 10 to 20. 10 to 30
trillion in the next three. Yeah,
got it. So that's $20 trillion and in a short amount of time is flowing to women, right? So if you are a financial planner, if you're a real estate investor, if you are a wholesaler, if you are a real estate broker that sells multifamily, whatever it is,
it's important to note.
Yeah, it's important to note that because the probability of your next customer walking into your door being a woman is becoming higher and higher, right? And so the getting in front of more women, understanding what women's needs are and and how women are going to vet deals and what they are going to want to see for financial opportunities is going to become more and more prevalent. So yeah, probability of somebody looking exactly like me, white man walking in your door 20 years ago, 9 out of 10, right? That's who that's going to be for an investment offering, but it's way different today, and it's going to be even more different tomorrow. So Liz, let's transition to the rising woman, to the woman that's just maybe getting involved, maybe hearing this for the first time, whoever she is, single mom, woman graduating high school, widowed baby boomer, or just, middle-aged woman looking for a better way that's happily married, right? What are some early steps that a woman needs to take in getting her financial house in order and taking the first steps towards financial freedom that you've said that you recommend women take?
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of having a handle on your finances, no matter what your
Yep.
situation is. Whether you're single, obviously it's even more important, right? You're the person. The buck stops with you. When you're in a relationship, people can sometimes give away, I believe, not their power, but they give away the knowledge of finance and the knowledge of where your money is working. I love talking about real estate. I love talking about, we're going to be putting this money into this deal. I was talking to a neighbor the other day and she kind of looked at me a little funny, like, why are we talking about this? But I just got excited about our HELOC that we're doing that and the amount of money we're going to make with it. And I just wanted to share that with somebody. And I'm like, she has no idea what I'm saying right now, but that's okay.
Oh man.
But I think, I think more and more what I would say is that it's a necessity because with with the knowledge of the financial your household, if you will, you're able to have choice and you're able to choose versus being forced to do something. And that's what we want to avoid, especially for women who are going to be potentially and quite honestly outliving in a traditional way partners. Okay. So what can you do? Are you going to go buy an apartment building out of the gate? No, no one should do that, right? That's not even smart to do if you have no knowledge. I think women are super capable. I think women, especially even if you're transitioning from raising the kiddos and now you're like, we see a lot of women, in their 40s, their 50s coming to our community. They raise the kiddos and now this is their business venture and it's exciting and they're like alive and they're doing deals, they're making things happen. And the first step to all that is managing your household, meaning if you don't feel comfortable knowing what your income is and your expenses are, it's a really simple one for your personal residence. It's a great place to start. And I know it could be really scary, Matt. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of vulnerability of getting a handle on your money. Sometimes we'd rather ignore it. I know there've been moments, right? You and I in our journey,
Yeah.
honestly, it's just been easier not to know the number
Yeah.
than to know the number. Because it's like I got to deal with that. I gotta swallow it, right? And there's a lot of shame in that at times for people, especially women. We attach our worth almost to it. And so all I can say is when you're in a safe community and you're really getting a handle on your money, it's just awareness and really getting kind of like your personal household in order. And that's a really powerful way to begin your investing journey. Because if you can manage your household income and expenses and have a handle on it, you'll be able to do that for an investment property. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You got to know your income and your expenses. How do I increase my income? How do I reduce my expenses in the most simplest way?
Yeah. Well, how do you know what the finish line looks like, right? So like if you're going to try and get out of the rat race, so to speak, and or get enough passive income to at least pay half of your expenses. If you don't know what your expenses are or what nut you need to meet with an investment opportunity or whatever that is, you're playing blind, and that's, I love that. And, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and it's easier not to, it's easier not to examine your expenses and say line by line, is this necessary? Is that necessary?
But it's the same thing, right? If you're going to lose weight, I use that analogy.
Yeah.
You kind of know, you kind of need to know what your weight is. Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to lose weight and get to a weight goal if you don't know where you're starting. And so
Right. It
I
takes
think
courage to get on the scale that first time,
it takes courage. And
Right.
that's why we've all been there. That kind of sinking feeling like, I need to get a handle on this because of the future. My future self
Yeah.
needs me to get a handle on this. And we've made some tough financial decisions, Matt. We've lost money.
Yeah.
We've
It was.
had really dark moments. And I would say is that the more and more you can detach from your decisions, you're not your money, you're not your decisions. You're much bigger than that. I
Yeah.
think it's really important mindset in this process because there's a lot of emotions tied into money, what we've been taught about money, what we feel about money. It's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Money is at the core of investing. So that's a very important kind of relationship you have to work on is your relationship to
Well,
money.
this is sticking with the weight loss analogy, right? Or just and with what makes investors so special is that if I wanted to go lose 10 pounds, there's 100,000 million books on this, right?
Yeah.
On what to
And
do. I
podcasts.
can watch
Yep.
all the YouTube videos I want and listen to
Figure it
podcasts
out.
on it or whatnot. But it is proven those that lose weight either have got a accountability partner or are going to go to the Weight Watchers meeting a couple blocks down the street from their house and have this thing called a community. And that
Yeah.
could be people that just clap for me when I go in there and say, hey guys, I lost 2 pounds this week, right? And I ate right all week and I counted my calories and I did it. Or it can give me a hug. I'm like, man, I gained 5 pounds over Thanksgiving. Can you believe that? Or I fell off the wagon, whatever it is. Community is really that glue that makes goals and efforts happen. And that's why I think what the most beautiful thing about InvestHer is the community you've created.
One step forward, Matt, if I could just say, is it's community with like-minded people
Yes.
that are like you have commonality and that are playing at the same level. A lot of the women in our community have property. They are investing. They built other businesses. These are the women that are in our, and if they're more professionally minded or they've been home with the kiddos, they have so much to give. They're savvy, and these aren't people who are just waking up, oh, I should do this. Like, these are go-getters, right?
Yeah.
And so I think when you join communities, to your point, it's about, do I want to surround myself with these people? And what we embody with our community is that it's holistic. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter and leveraging other people so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. Things get done with more access, more speed. That's why we've created our mentorship program.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've created a conference. That's why it's a network. So if you want to go invest in St. Louis or California or Jersey,
Wherever,
you
or
can
one of the other 60 cities that InvestHer has meetups and things
You
like
can
that.
tap. I mean, one of
Yeah.
our, just quick story. We had a woman in our Strive mentorship program. She wanted to invest out of state, was a little nervous. We connected her to the meetup leader in St. Louis, Megan, and they got connected. She then connected this member of ours to the rest of her network. So she was able to buy the property, get the right appraisal, like just the whole team was like this one connection to the rest. And she closed on that property. It's one of her highest income producing properties.
That's great.
I don't say that to boast anyone or anything. It's called like focus network with the right embodied mission and what we're all up to. So.
Yeah. Love it. So Liz, you mentioned InvestorCon, which is like nothing. It was like no other conference anybody's ever been to. It's beyond a conference. It's just it's an experience. I mean, it is like nothing else I've ever seen. And I've been lucky enough to attend multiple InvestorCons.
Here's what I'll tell you, the things that women have told me. That because of the conference, they met their next business partner and they're growing a portfolio together. Because of our conference, they've been able to get the confidence they needed to take that next step in their business. Because of InvestorCon, they met that next company so they can save time and money on their property management that's costing them so much time currently. I mean, I could keep going on the long list of outcomes that have come from InvestorCon. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about the community, right? And so this is very much a transformational experience. This is not like another traditional boring conference. People come in, they come out, no one knows you're there. Women sit in circles, they sit in tables. So they're already connected. We do a lot of pairing, a lot of sharing, a lot of journaling. One of my favorite sessions, and this is why our conference is different than others, is that they get a deal to analyze. And we have Anna Kelly, a good friend and very well known in our space of syndication and multifamily. She'll be leading this session about, okay, you got this one deal. How can we creatively finance this deal? And she's not going to be teaching it or sharing it. She'll be giving her input because she's a master at all of that. But the women at the tables will be workshopping this and then getting on the mic and saying, this is how I'd approach this deal. This is how I do this deal. No, I wouldn't do it that way. It is one of my favorite sessions of our conference because it's a workshop atmosphere versus talking to people. And that's what most of our sessions are. We have 30 speakers. We have, Kim Kiyosaki coming back to talking about reinventing yourself. We have Kathy Fecky talking about how do you thrive right now in this economy. Her daughter is going to be joining her to talk about international investing. Really excited about that. Sally Krawchuk is kicking off the conference. She is the co-founder of Elvest, and it's the largest platform for women who are doing stock trading. So we have a very holistic and diverse group of speakers. Yes, core real estate investing topics. And alternative investing, how to buy a business, how to really diversify so that you can also set yourself up for your financial future. So I can keep going, but we have some really cool networking, very mindful networking exercises that Andres and I are going to be helping the women through, whether it be network with each other, connecting with each other, and really in real time finding the next person that they need to help them grow their business. I don't know many conferences that are doing that. It's 3 days, 30
No.
speakers at a beautiful Omni Barton Creek in Austin, Texas, June 2nd to 4th. If I believe that whatever you invest in, you should get 10 times the value. And you do one deal, you find one partner, you find one contact. I don't know. This pays for itself 10 times over.
You find one community that gives you the courage to take the next steps. You find that person that's been a few steps down the road than you have, and that's enough right there sometimes. Liz, if people would like to either become if you don't be a woman to be a part of the movement that is InvestHer, because as I said before,
everybody.
You could realize that if you're savvy, realize that $20 trillion more could come walking into your door as a vendor, regardless of what your business is, if you learn how to gear your business towards the rising savvy real estate investing or just InvestHer in general woman, right? So that's somebody who should reach out to InvestHer if you want to become a sponsor or a community partner for their space, or if you want to attend InvestHerCon and become a follower. Liz, how do they just join the movement of InvestHer?
Yeah, absolutely. The realestateinvesther.com is our website, and we have all different types of information. So depending on if you're just looking to join a local meetup, get connected. There's 50 plus meetups across the country. We have events that we do twice a month. The realestateinvesther.com/events. These are free events. We have some phenomenal speakers on. Everyone's welcome to attend that. We have our podcast. We're almost up to 500 podcasts on all different types of topics. And we're just getting started, to really be a space for women and men from the perspective of being part of the solution to, again, we believe it is a woman's birthright to become financially free. So anyone that wants to follow us with that mission of women globally, we welcome you to be part of it. So we have some amazing sponsors who are men-led and who are super supportive of our community as well. So yeah, I can't agree with you more about who we're doing this for as women.
No, Liz, on a personal note, I'd love to see the growth of InvestHer. That was really just a podcast, no offense, a podcast hobby that you and Andressa were doing like a million years ago. Just, two young moms just looking for something to do to kind of be a voice for women in the community. And it has evolved and grown into this phenomenal juggernaut that is the InvestHer, not just the real estate investor, just InvestHer in that. And I'm really, really happy to see the growth. And
Thank you for all the support, right?
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the support.
I'm a different person in knowing the movement of InvestHer, because it's given me the eyes of a community that I would not have seen. So they're not my eyes, but I've been able to see the community of the rising woman in that through your community. And I really am grateful for what you've taught me and many of the others out there in the world. So guys, stay tuned for the InvestHer and InvestHerCon. Check out the Real Estate InvestHer show if you want to hear Liz's podcast. Liz, I'd love to have you back on the Cash Flow Digest very soon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and appreciate the opportunity.